In a world of podcasts, one rises in the night to destroy them all. The elder god in an ocean of noise, the Cthulhu of the airwaves. This is Spoiler Country.
All right, guys, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm, of course, Kenric Regan. That right there is Mr. Horsley. Today, we're a little late, as we are with everything in our life.
No, we are on time because we are on time whenever we do it. That's the right time to do it.
That's right. That's right. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
What you all missed is I just had to coach Kenric on what the name of the show was so you can say it right.
Right. Well, because I always want to say, because I love the movie In the Mouth of Madness with Sam Neill and directed by John Carpenter.
Yeah.
And I love that movie, you know, and it's such a weird movie. And I was working at I was working on Hollywood Video in the 90s when it came out on video. I brought it home to watch it. And my sister, I came home because Hollywood Video had closed really late. And I came home at 2:30 in the morning, and my sister was in my bed. Trisha was in my bed watching that movie. And then she goes, "Don't leave the room.
Don't leave. You have to stay."
She was stuck watching it and couldn't stop. It was kind of funny. So anyways, every time I say that, I always think of that. This movie came out March.
There we go. March. I don't know. Sometime.
Somewhere around there. The spring of 2022.
Yeah.
And it did really well in the theater.
Yeah.
And now it's on streaming. You guys can check it out on Disney Plus if you have it. I saw it in the theater about 2 weeks after it came out. And then I've watched it twice now on Disney Plus. That gives you an indication of how I feel about it.
It came out May 2nd, by the way.
Oh, May 2nd. There you go.
Yeah.
In the throes of spring.
I went and saw it with my mom for her birthday.
Nice.
Her birthday's May 3rd.
Have you always been a Doctor Strange fan? Was that something that you read?
No.
You just knew who he was.
Yeah, I mean, I have a tertiary knowledge of most Marvel characters from osmosis of
don't hear that word enough.
Yeah. I always where I mispronounce it, so I say it fast. But no, I knew who he was. I didn't really care for Doctor Strange in the comics. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I like some of the stuff.
Do you see him as a Dr. Fate ripoff?
I do. They're different. I know they're
in a
different.
way. And they're very different.
Very different, but in a way I see him as a Dr. Fate ripoff, even though there's nothing really similar about him besides the name Doctor, and they both do magic in some way.
Yeah, I mean, wizards and sorcerers have been around for thousands of years.
Exactly.
So it's kind of hard to go, that's a ripoff.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Dr. Fate. I read in the 80s when the Dr. Fate was at volume 87, whatever volume it was.
Right.
I read a ton of those. You know, and I had Dr. Fate #1 from was it 1985 or 87, whenever it came out. And I was super excited because I didn't know that he was an old ass character from the 1940s. I thought he was, I thought he was new because it was #1.
Yeah. Brand new character. Totally brand new character.
And then I was like, oh, not new. Even though, but I liked him. I liked the concept. I liked how it was the helmet and all that kind of stuff. I always knew who Doctor Strange was. I just never read the books. It's kind of weird. I don't remember seeing them on the shelf. I don't remember seeing them readily available for me to read.
Yeah. So when in the 80s, Doctor Strange wasn't really a big deal. In the 90s, there was a 90s Doctor Strange. He came back and stuff, but Doctor Strange was really, if you look at the comics, if you just go by what comics were published, he was big in the late 60s, early 70s, and mid 70s. That's when the Doctor Strange book was out and Strange Tales was doing really well, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But as far as our era of comic books, your era is a little bit earlier than mine, but they kind of overlap. He wasn't very prominent out. I mean, he was a part of Midnight Suns, I believe, and some of the stuff.
I don't remember seeing him in Midnight Suns at all.
Maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know in the 90s it wasn't there was Doctor Strange comics out there, but I never read him. I didn't care for him.
It's weird that the movies have really brought him forward.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a Doctor Strange movie from the 70s.
There is, and it is terribly fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so bad it's good.
It's so bad it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of weird because I don't think I even knew about that movie growing up. It wasn't until within the last 5 years that I even heard about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have saw commercials for it and not realized it.
One of the things that the MCU and Kevin Feige do really well is they take characters that most people don't care about and make them good. You know?
That's because Marvel sold off all their cool characters to other companies.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at most characters in the MCU, they're characters that weren't selling well.
Yeah. Thor,
Thor. I mean,
Iron Man.
They've had fan bases since the '60s, but it's a small fan base. Not small, but it's not as big as Spider-Man and X-Men, right?
But it's funny because it kind of goes off what we were talking about the other day when I said, I can understand people being like, been waiting all these years for this to happen.
Yeah.
But really that only correlates to like Spider-Man and X-Men and, Iron Man, unless you were older and the fan base was dwindling down significantly in the 80s. Like if they stopped producing Thor and Iron Man in the 80s, I think there'd been a contingency of people upset, but it wouldn't have been like this huge deal.
Right. They wouldn't have really been. No. Well, the thing about those movies, and this is what I've stood by as well, very, very vehemently or whatever that word I'm trying to say is for years, is that going back to like making changes from comics to source material to movies.
Yeah.
It's easy to make changes to characters that aren't nationally or worldwide beloved. Right. Like an Iron Man or a Captain America. Well, Captain America is kind of he is loved, but like a Thor or a Doctor Strange or anything, most characters in the MCU, Black Widow, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
You can make changes, even pretty big changes to those characters and it work and people be okay with it. But you can't make big changes to like Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. Right. That's where it's like you got 80 years of history and you're changing stuff in the wrong direction. Or even if you change it in the right direction and it's good, there's going to be a bigger pushback because there's so much of a bigger fan base. But if you take little smaller characters, which is what the MCU has done, like medium smaller characters, like B-level characters, well, you can argue that Captain America and them are all A-listers, but not so much like they're not Spider-Man, right?
Well, they're A-listers now.
Right.
They weren't only because of the MCU.
Right. But they're not the X-Men. They're not Spider-Man. They're not Fantastic Four. You can make changes to them. And even though there's some are small changes, some are pretty big changes.
And you sound weird again. You're scratching.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what to tell you. I apologize to everybody.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if it's on my side or if it's on your side. I have no idea.
I don't know. It's probably the cable I'm using. But it's just basically things like Doctor Strange, you can make changes to it. And most people won't notice. And if they do notice, and if they do look it up, they're not going to care.
So bad.
What?
So bad. The sound. Yeah. Yeah, like you can't really understand what you're saying.
Oh, Jesus.
Now it's gone. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not touching anything.
It's got to be a cable. Did you put a new cable in?
No, it's the same cable as yesterday.
What? I thought you were going to put a new cable in. You're like, it's over there.
All right, I'll go grab a new cable.
So, talking about Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness, we have, I feel like they finally had the Scarlet Witch, like the Scarlet Witch. She was super powerful in it. She did some very crazy things.
Yeah.
She's under the possession of the Darkhold. So is she redeemable?
Let's answer that question later. I want to start with the question of what didn't you like about the movie first? Like, what wasn't good?
What wasn't good? That's a hard question. I don't know. I guess I think for me wasn't really down with the near the end when they all all the dead souls, you know what I mean, coming after him, like because you had Loki. And I don't remember them talking about the dead souls like that in Loki and time travel.
Yeah.
You had the time traveling police force thing, but I don't remember that. That might be wrong. So don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But the whole like all of a sudden he's getting ripped apart. And then now he controls them basically in a snap of a finger and they're flying over there. And I just thought it kind of looked hokey, you know,
his cape of souls.
Yeah, I just didn't like it. I just didn't look good. And then I didn't think it looked good. And then I don't think the special effects of it looked good. Is what I'm saying.
Well, so you do better.
No, not by any stretch.
Okay.
You would see nylon rope if I was doing it. Not even fishing wire, nylon rope.
Yeah.
And then I think that was the only scene that I was just like, but I did like the rest of it. I loved Wong in this movie.
Wong was fantastic in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good. And I was bummed when I thought he died.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You can't die that way.
Yeah. So what I didn't care for the movie, I get what you're saying there. I kind of liked the Cape of Souls. Thought it was corny. It was very Sam Raimi, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was just such a weird. It just happened too fast.
Yeah. So what?
Oh,
my biggest.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
I wish we had more time, and I wish they would have made, instead of a movie, I felt like this should have been a show.
Oh, that right there leads into what my problem was with the movie.
Yeah.
My only real problem, I liked the movie. I thought it was well done. I thought it was fun. My biggest problem with the movie is the fact that it's called the Multiverse of Madness. It's all about the multiverse. They introduced America Chavez, who can literally open portals to other multiverses.
Right.
And they go to like 3. Like,
they had
WTF. Like there's the one scene where they're falling through, and it's kind of cool. And it goes like the one that's like the cartoon one, a bunch of other random ones you see for like 2 seconds, which I'm sure there's probably a YouTube show that's broken that down and makes speculation of what all those multiverses were or whatever. But ultimately, it's a movie about the multiverse with a multiversal traveling character that goes to 3 or 4 places, and that's it. That's all we get.
Right.
And this right here was the perfect venue to connect a lot of things, or to do fan service, or to just fucking play with it. And they did the Hollywood thing of
Spider-Man did a better job dealing with the multiverse.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, it did really.
Yeah.
But it should have, I mean, this was a perfect way they could have, like, the cartoon one. Like, why didn't they tie that to the Spider-Man cartoon, to Spider-Verse, right?
Oh yeah, and with Miles Morales.
Yeah, like if they're gonna show cartoon, why didn't they just show
even Peter Parker and his amazing Spider-Man and his amazing friends?
Or why didn't they show? Why didn't they? There's a lot of stuff they could have done.
Could have fought the multiverse. Spider-Man, man.
Yeah, a lot of things they could have done with the multiverse, and they just didn't do it. And obviously, I can guarantee the reason was time. Right? They were doing a movie that condensed it down. If they would have put this into a miniseries? This movie was primed for a miniseries. Yeah,
well, it's supposed to have a lot of implications throughout the rest. It's the first time you see Reed Richards. John Krasinski as Reed Richards is perfect.
Who apparently is not playing him in the movie.
What? Wait, what?
I read a report today saying that was just a fan service thing they did. They hired him just for that. And when in the coming Doctor Doom or FF movie they're working on, he's not going to be Reed Richards.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. I think that's a dumbass move, but
yeah, that's way dumb. I mean, don't do a fan service then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't do that. That's worse.
Like if you're going to put him there, I don't know. It's like,
is that Monica Rambeau?
The one girl.
Rambeau?
Yeah. That was the same girl.
No, but that was the iteration of Monica Rambeau for,
Marvel. Yeah.
She shouldn't be dead. Like, how does a statue falling on Cap? I mean, I know it sounds fantastical, but how does a statue kill Monica?
It doesn't. How does a statue kill somebody? How does a statue kill somebody who the other version of her flew a spaceship?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Exactly. That didn't make sense.
And go ahead and talk about Mr. Fantastic and his destiny you like so much.
Dude, it was awesome. Come on. He's all flailed out and then he goes all into his head and it pops. I mean, come on. That was pretty cool.
It was.
But the thing is they're fighting the Scarlet Witch who bends and controls reality.
Yeah.
She, and when we think about this, is she, I mean, you could make an argument that she is the most powerful being in the, except for maybe the one above all or whatever they call it. And even that she can say that no one above all, like she did with No More Mutants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she's super powerful, and they did a pretty good job of making her really powerful, but not over powerful. Well, even though she was.
Here's my thing about that fight scene, right?
Yeah.
Between the all of them, right? They introduced Reed Richards as the smartest man in the universe.
No.
Or the world, whatever.
The world, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, the world, okay?
Yeah.
And they have, in that same room, they've got Black Bolt, Monica Rambeau, or Captain Marvel, they've got Professor X and stuff like that.
Right.
And they've got Captain Britain, Peggy Carter, which is awesome to see her in live action.
Right.
Which I hope they bring her back as Captain Britain, because that was awesome.
It was awesome.
I'll get to that in a second.
Awesome when she got cut in half, too.
But if he's the smartest man in the world, and they have all these other characters there, we can assume he's dealt with magic before. I think it's a safe assumption he's dealt with the magic user before, right?
Yeah. Doctor Strange.
Right. it's very safe to assume that. Why would he, being a character who is smart with stretchy powers, run into battle against a witch?
Yeah,
like that's out of character. And
yeah, maybe.
And he was probably the second weakest one in the room, and he died first. Or second,
Well,
no, Black Bolt died first, right?
Yeah, Black Bolt dies first when she says "wet mouth."
Yeah,
and then he speaks. I mean, then he screams. It's like, what are you doing?
Right, and it closes. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
I mean, the whole scene was pretty cool. I mean, it was
cool,
kind of fun to see her really let loose, and the whole Professor X scene.
That was cool.
Her and he's in her mind was done really, really well, and she was legit scary when she breaks his neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming out of the fog like that. And it was like, whoa.
But I question that scene. It was cool. It was well done. But I question that scene because Charles Xavier is like the premier telepath.
Yeah.
Right. And he can, canonically, he's controlled the minds of thousands of people at once. Right.
Yeah.
Are we saying that the Scarlet Witch, his mind is so powerful, even though it was taken over by the Darkhold, so it's not that powerful to resist this kind of stuff. It's so powerful that she can overpower a seasoned veteran of doing this, Charles Xavier.
Apparently,
well, apparently it is.
I think it depends on level of expectation, level of his understanding of how powerful she actually is, and not, you know what I mean. He was concentrating on saving the one within, right?
Right, but he also knows that she has just beaten Mr. Fantastic, Captain Britain, Captain Marvel, and Black Bolt.
Yeah. But he knows that he's gonna try what he needs to try, and he just ended up failing on that.
I mean, it made the scene kind of cool, and it did kind of like it was cool to see them all there, but then like they killed them all,
Yeah,
so
well,
it makes me.
It's interesting that she's that powerful. She killed all those people, yet she can't kill. I don't know if it is that she can't kill Doctor Strange because it's her friend.
Yeah.
Right, and they're both from the same dimension. They have a lot of history together.
Right.
Though you could argue that she doesn't have a lot of history with Doctor Strange. She has more history with the Avengers.
Yeah, she has some
history with Doctor Strange. Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just a movie.
Yeah, just one movie, 2 movies.
So but I wonder if you could say, okay, well, she's obviously maybe holding back when she's fighting him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because she's trying to be like, you need to understand what I'm doing, but it was interesting. It was interesting. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was. There's a part of me I didn't like her being the bad guy.
Oh no, I wanted to be the good guy, but
big bad. I thought it was going to be something else.
I mean, WandaVision set her out to be the bad guy. WandaVision
kinda. I mean, she goes through that whole thing, and then
that last scene though, the last scene of WandaVision sets her up
of her going through reading the Darkhold. Yeah, I didn't take it that the Darkhold was going to infect her like that. I just took it for her trying to figure out a way to get her kids back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, so another question I have about that, not a question but comment. She's the one who sends the demon or whatever the thing was through the multiverse to get America Chavez, right?
Yeah.
So if she's strong enough, the Darkhold, that she can send that through, and she can do the whole like body walk thing where she can go into the body of
the dream walking
to another universe. What does she need America Chavez for? She can already send things through the multiverse. She can put herself the multiverse into this other thing. What's the? I mean, I guess the point would be to get her physically from one universe to the next universe through the portal. But it was my understanding that she was sending these demons or monsters or whatever after her, or was she activating those monsters in that universe and just controlling them through the different multiverse? Like, they never quite explained that. Like, she can do things in the other multiverse, but then she wants to capture a character and go through multiverses, but she's already doing that to the multiverse,
Right.
It's kind of circular a little bit.
It is a little circular. I mean, you have to have a little bit of leeway. You know what I mean? With something like this, it's such a, when you think about what they're trying to do and what they're saying and what in the movie itself, it's such a big enough movie where you have to have some leeway, or you do a miniseries.
And give more time to explain things.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird. There's a lot of weirdness in that movie, which I really, really enjoyed. What was your favorite scene, you think?
My favorite scene?
Yeah.
Oh God. It was probably the scene where she kills the Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
Yeah. I mean, I know I bitched about it, whatever, but it was a cool scene. It was visually cool.
It was visually really pleasing because you're like
Krasinski as Captain America or as Mr. Fantastic was really cool.
Yeah.
And I really hope that they
hate the rubber man thing, dude. It's just so hokey.
It'll never look cool. I don't even
it doesn't look cool. That's the problem. Which
is why they changed Miss Marvel to not be that way. Because in the comics, Miss Marvel is a stretchy person.
Yeah.
And takes form and stuff. That's why they changed it to be more like Green Lantern, pretty much, making constructs.
Yeah.
That's why she's changing the show. Because you can't make rubber look cool. Like,
no, it looks terrible. You watch it, you're like, oh my God, this is just terrible. It's it's dumb.
I'm worried about it. I'm worried about a Fantastic Four movie again because it's just you can't. It's hard to make it look cool. And even all the ones they've done so far.
The Fantastic Four is always weird because in the 80s, growing up, only the really old people are really into Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I don't really care for it, honestly.
And even in the 90s, I think it was, I don't know of any person my age that were into the Fantastic Four. I only liked the cartoon, and I was watching reruns, and I liked The Thing. That was it.
See, I think the characters, like The Thing is cool. Johnny Storm is pretty cool. Invisible Woman is pretty cool. Mr. Fantastic is interesting outside of the stretching. It's interesting because his inventions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I know they're not going to do it, but it would be kind of cool if like they brought the Fantastic Four in, but brought them in like through all this multiverse stuff. They're there, but they've already like done the FF stuff, and now they're just on their own.
Yeah,
like, so you have like the Thing off in something else. Yeah, Fantastic Four, or the Thing shows up in like a Hulk movie or something like that, and like
this Johnny Storm this monster.
Johnny Storm shows up in Spider-Man, or something like that, and it's just like that would be interesting. But they're gonna make. Apparently, they're making a Doctor Doom movie, which is been done 3 times now.
Doctor Doom movie?
Well, I mean, Doctor Doom's bit was in all 3 Fantastic Four movies as like the main bad guy.
Who else would you have though? I mean, really, when you think of it, it's the Fantastic Four and their rogue gallery.
In their first appearance, they fought a giant monster.
Yeah. Right. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, who?
I don't know. I don't read Fantastic Four. I don't know any of their characters.
That's the point.
The Impossible Man. There you go. That's one.
Who?
The Impossible Man.
Okay.
Green guy. He's basically the Fantastic Four's version of Batmite or Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it possible? It's Impossible Man or some weird stupid name. I don't know.
Okay. The Fantastic Four
villains.
Okay. Before we get off on a tangent here, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's a fun movie. Go check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you're a fan of the MCU, you probably already watched it. Why don't you tell us what you think, what you loved and what you hated about it, and what could make it better? And do you agree? Should it be a miniseries? Should they do more miniseries, or do you want to see more movies? And while you're here, why not hit the little subscribe and the little notification? Then you get to know when things are going on.
Yeah.
We're also on anywhere podcasts are heard. Yep. So if you're a fan of just getting in the car and listening, then you can download us on Google Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, all those places. We're there. So
we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram.
We're on Twitter.
We are.
We are on Twitter. We are on Twitter.
Spaghetti. And we're back.
That's right. We are back. Back in the saddle again. Well, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed that as much as we did making it for you. And if you like what you heard and you want to hear more, you got to go check out spoilerverse.com, because at spoilerverse.com we have a plethora amazing directors and artists of all walks of life, and editors and writers, and oh my God, are you a lover of comic books like we are? Then there's so many amazing people from the comic book world over at spoilerverse.com, and I highly implore you to go there and check it out.
Yeah, and while you're there, you can check out all the other podcasts on our network, like Originally Geekdoms and Funny Book Forensics and Haphazard Adventures and Nerds from the Crypt and so many more.
Misery
we put out
Point
episodes
Radio
all the time. Go check all of them out, and check out all of the reviews and previews and articles we have going up every single day for you, every day on spoilerverse.com for you to check out, to read, and to love, and to like, and to comment. We have a store link. If you want to help support the site, You can do it two ways. One, go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/spoilercountry, or go to our store link in the middle of the site there and get a t-shirt, a face mask, a hoodie, something look fly as hell, and help support the site when you do that, because we get $1 or $2. And maybe you want to talk to us. If you do, you can do it obviously on all the socials, but if you go to scpod.us/discord, you can join our public Discord server and come chat with us all day long.
I couldn't say it better myself, dude.
There you go.
You just mouthed out a ton of information at once, and really, I hope you guys enjoy what you're hearing, because we're working our butts off to bring it to you.
We are.
I guess there's only one left thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. There's only one left thing left to do.
What's that?
In an oceans of podcasts,
We are Cthulhu.
as Cthulhu compels you to
Open the mind.
and read more.
All right, so Doctor Strange. I still want to say in the mouth of madness.
No,
in the multiverse of madness.
No, it's just Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
And not in. And all right.